silent as he moved through the night. Even the foraging rats were not disturbed by his presence, though a skinny black and white alley cat paused to shoot him a baleful green glare before leaping onto the pile of refuse and over a wall. Damaged or not, Black could adjust his weight so that his feet barely disturbed the ground on which he trod and made no telltale noise. The couple did not hear him approach, as Hawker's son and his woman for hire had not heard a previous approach. They seemed rather involved in what they were doing. It was a fairly standard transaction from Black's previous observations. The woman stood with her back against the wall. The shoulders of the much taller man obscured her view of anything approaching. The man faced the wall and had no sight of what was happening behind him. They were entwined together in what seemed to be a particularly uncomfortable and inconvenient position. Her skirts raised and tucked over her hips, his trousers open, the two of them pressed very close at the groin. Intellectually, Black knew what they were doing. Reproductively, he understood the need for it and the requirement for the continuation of the species. Analytically, he did not understand why this would make the act a commodity worth purchasing, when there would be no issue from this union. One more fascinatingly ridiculous quirk of the enemy, one that he hoped would very much work in his favour. Unsurprisingly, it did. The pair were decidedly distracted as Black emerged silently from the fog. In all likelihood, the stealth of his approach was completely unnecessary. He had already predetermined the method of dispatch for the man when given the opportunity. He seized his head between two strong hands and twisted sharply. The man's neck broke with an audible snap, and Black carefully lowered the body to the ground, anxious not to dirty the clothing. The woman, who found herself so abruptly disengaged, opened her eyes wide and her mouth wider in a scream that would have echoed loud were it not for the fortunate dampening effect of the fog. In less than a second, Black stepped in close, placed his hand over her mouth and cut off the noise. His other hand clutched a blade, ostensibly a paper knife he habitually carried in his pocket, in actuality a razor-sharp, unbreakable gutting knife. He pushed it into her stomach, pulled upwards. The layers of clothing and corset offered no resistance to the unnatural sharpness of the blade. It cut through her like she was butter. She bled, of course, but it did not matter. Did not need her clothes.